welcome to the Red Bear Farm. Today we're gonna talk about one question that everybody who grows tomatoes thinks at this time of the year. To prune or not to prune? That is the question. And the answer is probably more complicated, a simple yes or no. If you have indeterminate tomatoes, or also known as vine tomatoes, those do require pruning. And if you have determinate tomatoes, those are also known as the bush tomatoes. They are programmed to grow to a very specific height and they will produce all the fruit at once. So those may not require pruning. Most of the tomatoes, especially if you are growing heirloom tomatoes, they would be indeterminate. So they will require some pruning. And we'll show you how to prune, but it is your personal choice to prune or not to prune. But we'll show you how and why you need to do that. Determinate tomatoes are programmed to only grow a very specific height. It can vary from 1 to 3 feet, but they also put out all of their fruit at once, so you do not want to trim too much, maybe just the bottom leaves. When indeterminate tomatoes, they will continue to grow and produce their fruit all summer long, pretty much until the frost gets them. So there's two different ways of trimming it: a complete trimming for indeterminate and just a cleanup trimming, just to make sure that no leaves are touching the ground and there's no bottom suckers to make the bush very heavy. As what you can see it on our tomatoes here, we already have some of the fruit producing, but there's also a lot of leaves touching the ground. So in this tomato we will just clean up the bottom. We'll just remove the leaves, everything that touches the ground. Lots of times tomatoes could get sick just from ground contaminations. As you can see it in our beds, we have all kind of different vegetables growing simultaneously, including some of the pest-resistant flowers. But we want to clean up pretty much everything on the bottom, and as what you can see it on this one, we cleaned up most of the leaves already, and there is a couple of smaller suckers. Typically I would use either a very sharp prunes or just use my own fingers just to snip them off. You can see right here is a very well developed little sucker, and the suckers will actually could develop into a fruit producing branches. However, they will take away from the main plant, so the tomatoes that they will produce, they would be a little bit smaller, and may not be as many of them. So if you preserve in your harvest, you might want to remove those as well. Sometimes you would see people recommending removing all the bottom leaves on undetermined tomatoes, pretty much all the way to the fruit. But like I said, this is what we're doing right here. This is a very light trimming, and you can see that there's still a lot of leaves left. I would recommend not to take too many leaves, even if you are training your tomato to be just a single main stem. Don't take more than a quarter of leaves at once, because it could really send your plant into a shock. This is what our tomatoes look like after light cleaning. As you can see, most of it is pretty cleaned up. This is a tomato that I've been training to be just a single stem. As you can see, about 1/3 on the bottom is completely cleaned up, and there is no suckers. There is just a single stem going all the way up. Biggest benefit of this kind of a pruning is that you have a tomato that's very easy to control, and it will never get too heavy to be knocked down by wind or anything else. Here's a better view of that same tomato vine. As you can see, it's a very easy to control, and it's supported by a single stake. I don't really need to have a cage for that. Please enjoy your tomatoes, enjoy our videos. I have another one coming up soon on tomatoes, so please subscribe, and we'll see you soon.